I'm Alessandra La Corazza, and I'm the director of In the Summers. In the Summers is about two sisters that visit their damaged but very loving father across several years in the summer. Inspired by, but not fully autobiographical. Well, as you're writing, you're also developing the characters, and they became their own thing. So I started with seeds that were very autobiographical, and then from there, I'm just building a story, and the characters themselves became very separate. I don't think of them as like me and my sister, even though I think that's confusing to people, because they have a mind of their own anytime you're writing. And then I think the actors themselves then further added layers to that, so then it feels even further away from reality. Yeah, so I met Alex Dinelaris, who was one of our main producers, through the WGA East and Film Nations Lab that we did during the pandemic in 2020. And I passed him my script, kind of expecting him to just give me notes on it because he was one of the mentors, and he loved it. And his company Lexicon decided to help me with this. They're like, I want to option the script. I want to help you make this film. And so slowly we started accumulating more producing partners and starting getting a cast together. But that was the seed of it.
We just watched the film, the premiere, which was really special. I felt it was very different to see it with an audience as opposed to seeing it, without. Um, but it was really special, Ale. And Ale said something along the lines of, your childhood trauma and kind of going through that experience and kind of knowing that your parents also have trauma, and that we're all human and trying our best, but the things that we experience are real. But at the end, we really do prevail, and it's really beautiful. And I was so emotional, Ale. Yeah.
Something I thought about watching the film today was about all the fathers who will see this film. And, I think this is such a beautiful story of complexity and then redemption with Renee's character, because I imagine, my sister, so much of my life and Latin family, we know this trope of a father who's absent, a father who's abusive, a father who's dealing with addiction. And that's what we've always seen on screen. And this is such a beautiful alternative to that, in that it shows a story of a father who faces those challenges, but then ultimately overcomes them in a way or gets on a new path. And I think showing that on screen teaches fathers that, hey, you've maybe messed up in the past, but you can show up again. It's never too late. Your kids are never too old to try to rebuild that connection. And I'm just really excited to hear what dads think about it.
Yeah, I felt that's along the lines of what I was gonna say. I think sometimes when you read scripts that are about Latino families, or happen to see Latino families on screen, sometimes those families get stuck in binaries of like very very traumatic experiences, or very how can I say this, like PC version of what a Latino family should be on screen, because we don't want to stereotype our community. And what I loved about reading the script the first time that I read it, was that it allows for so much complexity. You allow Vicente's character to have so much of the good, and some of the bad, and that it he's not defined by either. You're kind of left with your heart rooting for him, and it's because of the way that you wrote it. You wrote it with so much grace, and for his character, and also for his daughters. And so we rarely get to see Latino talent play that on screen.
I was gonna say I also don't know that I've seen something so grounded on in a film with our community. I mean, watching all those moments, the music, the babies, the innocence, it
Yeah,
was.
it felt that very natural, very organic, very real, not pretentious art going on. And I miss that in movies. It's less is more precise. The editing was perfect. Like it's a beautiful film. Like I never cried, and I cried at the end. I don't know what's happening. Uh, you know, it was very, and I like the fact, because I know that there were moments where I show my emotions, and that we should that there wasn't they weren't there, but I it was way better, and it was so good that the only time that I saw Vicente cry a little bit was at the end, and I felt that's why I felt it so strong, so deep, and I was like, and then when they end with the shot with you two, yeah, I was like, yeah, yeah, no, it's a very powerful film, and I'm a hater of, I'm a super hater, like I'm a critic. I was about to destroy my own movie, and I was like, no, man, it's really, really, really good. Yeah. Well, for with me, like I don't have experience at all, so imagine, and she gave me time and space, and sometimes I suggested things, and no, we're gonna keep into the script, or no, yeah, play a little bit. So she gave us freedom, and that's what you need, when you making art, you need freedom,
I
so
would
yeah.
say very loving, very caring, and also first time director, writer, chaos. And yet you were still so gracious and caring. I mean, Ale looks you in the eyes and says, like, you know what was really beautiful that we haven't talked about? Ale would give me my shot, which was like I could do whatever I wanted to do. She'd be like, "You want this one for you?" And I was like, "Yes, can I please have one for me?" And she would be like, "Absolutely." And it was special. It was so special in the fact that you gave me that and gave all of us that. My God, yeah.
And the time she
The
took time,
time.
I saw her working with the little girls, and they were amazing. And the time that you took to talk to them, to explain every scene and everything,
Intention.
even though they were like a rush and time, and you were like taking your time. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can be a pretty insecure actor. I told that to Alessandra before we started. She asked me, how do you like to work? What is a way that I can support you as a director? Which, not every director asks. There are actors that. And so we had a conversation, and then, we got to set. I had basically just expressed feedback is helpful of whatever kind. And we get to set, and it would always be a moment after cut was called that I would have eye contact with her. She would sort of give me some kind of, yes, that was perfect. We're moving on. Trust me, or that was amazing, but let's try it like this. There was just a kind of confidence that you had that made me feel really grounded in what I was doing. And it's only my second feature, so I sort of needed someone to support me in that way, and she just went above and beyond, and I feel like I left that set feeling way more confident for my next film.
That communication and safety allows us to fall. We can free fall because it is, an artist's biggest dilemma is that we're constantly like, was that good? Was that not? And so thank you for that. I really feel that deeply.